What's going on, guys? WWE Talk Cam here, back with a WWE Raw review for the 5th of January now, and it's a day late, but due to living in the UK and having to watch it sort of in the morning, and because I had school today, I didn't bother watching it live, and I'm kind of relieved I didn't, because it wasn't the greatest Raw in the world, although, looking on the positive side, it wasn't the worst Raw I've seen in the last few months, because there have been some bad ones. Compared to last week's, a Raw that I actually really enjoyed, this week, it had so much potential. It just lacked, especially in that final segment that we'll talk about in a little bit. Make sure you subscribe to the brand new channel for reviews, previews, etc., and special WWE series as well. Leave me your thoughts on Raw down in the comment section below tonight. We're going to run through pretty much everything, giving you my thoughts on it. As I said, I don't really know what to feel about the show. Part of me wants to feel positive about it. I don't think it was terrible. I enjoyed parts of it. I didn't enjoy other parts, which is what Raw commonly is in nowadays. The first segment, John Cena was in the ring. The whole locker room was in the ring with him. I don't really understand the logic of the whole locker room, because, to be honest, I don't think when Stephanie McMahon and Triple H came out, they actually addressed the whole locker room like they were meant to. It was just kind of talking to John Cena and saying how they're fantastically happy with him and how they appreciate what John Cena done, and how they were going to set up this John Cena appreciation night at the end of the show. That was basically what the whole segment was. It wasn't too long, the first segment, which is good. A lot of people were expecting the Authority to come out and do their half an hour long segments. That didn't actually happen. It was only about 15 minutes, so that wasn't too bad. But the big thing from this was the simple fact, now again, I didn't know how to feel about this, but now I'm actually quite happy about it. Seth Rollins is in the Royal Rumble match against John Cena and Lesnar for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship in a triple threat match, as I say, at Royal Rumble. Seth Rollins has been included in that match. Now, that is not him cashing in his Money in the Bank, I don't think, anyway. That was Stephanie McMahon and Triple H's way of saying thank you to Seth Rollins. Now, initially I was like, oh my god, what the hell have they done? What on earth have they done? But then again, we've seen John Cena, Brock Lesnar. I don't think anyone's that hyped for it. This would be awesome. This is going to be 3 of them in. Who knows what's going to happen? There's a possibility of, obviously, Rollins losing and then cashing in his Money in the Bank after. There's a possibility of Lesnar still regaining. There's so many possibilities now. I still think that I think that Rollins will walk out of the Royal Rumble with the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, whether that be by cashing in the Money in the Bank or whether it be winning it with the Authority coming out. I don't know, but I'm actually relatively happy with Seth Rollins' introduction into the triple threat match, because, I mean, they needed him in it, because Brock Lesnar and John Cena, yeah, they've got heat, you know, they've had a little bit of a feud, etc. When Brock Lesnar's not on the show half the time, it's very difficult to really create any meaning to the match. I'm looking forward to this match. Are you actually looking forward to this match? The next match was a very, very good one, and one that I'm happy about the result. I know a lot of people aren't, because Dolph Ziggler lost, but it was Bad News Barrett versus Dolph Ziggler in the Intercontinental Championship match. Originally, it was just the first match. Then Dolph Ziggler Bad News Barrett got pinned. Then Kane appeared out of absolutely nowhere. Obviously, Kane, part of the Authority, corporate Kane, announcing that, oh, we are sorry that we didn't announce. It was actually a 2 out of a 3-fall match, which I thought was great. I thought that was brilliant. Bad News Barrett, previously, before Kane had come out and announced it was a 2 out of 3 falls match, had completely out of the attack Dolph Ziggler, because he was just so bloody angry that he lost the match, which, again, I thought was a nice thing to go with. And I think these two had a really good match. Barrett and Ziggler had a lot of chemistry in the ring. I thought it was a good match. And then, obviously, Bad News Barrett got the 2 out of 3. It got the actual second fall pretty quickly, and it was left to that third fall that went on, and it's very, very good. Ziggler actually kicked out of Wasteland, I believe. Did he kick out of Wasteland? Yes, I'm sure Dolph Ziggler kicked out of Wasteland, which is obviously one of Bad News Barrett's finishes. It was actually his finisher, his main finisher, before this bull hammer, when he was actually Wade Barrett. But yeah, basically the last fall was good. Kane interrupted, sort of distracted Dolph Ziggler as heels always do. And, yeah, basically, Ziggler turned his back and, into the bull hammer. And Barrett bull hammer. 3 seconds later, we had a new WWE IC Champion of the World. Bad news, Barrett. It's a title he never lost, technically. So I'm kind of happy that he's won it. It means that Dolph Ziggler can move onwards and upwards with storylines, etc. So for that segment, I think it was a good match, and I don't mind the outcome because I do like Bad News Barrett. Next match was Ascension versus Local Talent. I mean, what can we say about this? We saw it on SmackDown. Don't really see how the logic of how this is building them up. You put any superstars in the ring with local talent, they're always going to win because that's just how WWE used them. I'm already bored of the local talent. Ascension is such a good thing. They were so good on NXT. They've kind of changed the gimmick. I don't understand what WWE are doing with them. The reaction isn't great. I mean, I don't think the crowd was very good tonight. I thought they were dead. Half of me is like, well, we can't blame them because the show wasn't that great. But at the same time, come on, look, let's be. Because I think that's half the problem at the moment is the fans don't react to anything. You know, I don't know, but the crowd was dead tonight. This was, what can you expect from this match? You can't really take too much out of it. I still think the Ascension have got potential. I like the Ascension, but wrestling local talent is not going to do them anything. They need to be wrestling the Usos. Anybody that's Golden Stardust, just anybody that's just got that little bit of, you know, is up there rather than these stupid local talent. I'm sick and tired of it. The next match was actually a Big Show versus Roman Reigns and ended again in disqualification. About the 10th time we've seen this match. A bit like it's going into the Dean Ambrose versus Bray Wyatt number 2. The match kind of ended in a kind of averagely okay way. The match wasn't too bad for these two. I haven't really enjoyed these two in the match. I don't think they have the greatest chemistry. Big Show basically decided to pick up flipping steel steps and hit Roman Reigns with it, causing a disqualification, another disqualification in this match, which means it's probably going to go to, you would expect, the Royal Rumble, which is going to be a good match. I'm relatively looking forward to that. As I say, though, I don't think they have too much chemistry together. I suppose that's a good way of trying to get Roman Reigns over, but we all know he's not ready to win the Rumble, so fingers crossed he don't. But yeah, after the match, he went to hit him again with the stairs. And, Roman Reigns hit him with a spear. And the stairs, kind of fell on Big Show. And that was that. And, I mean, he's setting up for a feud. It was already a feud, but he's setting up for a big match at a pay-per-view. Earth was that? I don't know. Apologies about that. I don't know what it was. But it's setting up for a big match at pay-per-view. I'm relatively looking forward to it, kind of. I want to look forward to this match, but I just don't. Big Show's matches are so slow at the moment, and he's past it. In my opinion, Big Show's past it. But anyway, that's a topic for another day. The Divas match, is there any point in even talking about it? It was so short, it's just pathetic. We all know Divas matches are so short at the moment. They have been for the last few years. You watch NXT, great Divas matches. Natalya win, arguably one of the best matches of the year last year against Charlotte. You know, these are just last less than a minute most of the time. And yes, I like the fact that they brought out Paige. I watched Total Divas. It kind of makes sense, kind of doesn't. Then they've got there's going to be a match on main event with Paige versus one of the Bellas. I can't remember which one. I'm past caring, to be honest, about the Divas division at the moment. Natalya pinned Nikki Bella. That's the main thing you want to know. Which means that, again, they're heading to probably a championship match at the Rumble, which is going to be it could be a great match, but it won't because WWE won't let it be a great match. Eric Rowan and Luke Harper. This could be such a great feud, but they don't seem to be making anything for it. It just seems to be every now and again. It could be such a great feud, but like I read on, I think it was Bleacher Report, there's no substance. No one really knows why these two former tag team members actually hate each other. No one really understands it. And that's the kind of annoying thing with this. This could be something, a bit like the Rowan Wyatt thing. That could have been something, but it was all to just get Bray Wyatt over for the ambulance match. But anyway, Jamie Noble and Jerry Mercury came out as guest referees. What on earth was that all about? I mean, I understand that they're in the Authority, and Luke Harper was in the Authority, or Team Authority, and what's his face? Eric Rowan was in Team Cena, but I don't really see the point, especially it was new. It was kind of creative for the WWE creative team, so I ain't gonna complain. But a bit of a weird match. Basically, Rowan kind of flipping got screwed over by the special guest referee. Luke Harper pinned Eric Rowan. Who knows whether this is going to feud? I think it should do. After the match, the heels beat down Rowan, and that's basically it. It was a match that was relatively short. It wasn't that exciting. Hopefully that goes into a few because we're quite late to see that, but it's got to have substance. Next was a big one, the ambulance match. It was an absolutely great match between Dean Ambrose and Bray Wyatt. And I know it's been overbooked and we've seen, this match in respect to Dean Ambrose versus Bray Wyatt multiple times. It felt like the end. It needs to be the end for this rivalry. It's gone on too long as it is. It was a good way to end it. Bray Wyatt winning, which, if this whole Undertaker thing is true, it doesn't surprise me in the slightest. So I was happy Bray Wyatt won, but at the same time, it was obviously clean. No one interfered, which is a bit surprising, really, because I don't know what Dean Ambrose is going to do. But I'm happy that heels are beginning to win cleanly on Raw and SmackDown. Why should it be that heels always have to win by cheating? I don't really understand that they need to have heelness. I can't even speak. Characters, but they can win clean every now and again. It doesn't hurt their heel image. Bray Wyatt isn't going to be seen as a face now just because he won clean over Dean Ambrose. He's actually probably going to be hated more because he's won clean over Dean Ambrose. Which, wonder what's at stake though next for Dean Ambrose. I think losing this match kind of kicks any chance of him winning the Rumble because he just wouldn't go into the Rumble with any particular momentum. But it was a good match. It was a very good match. Dean Ambrose jumped off the ambulance and onto Bray Wyatt for a table. That was good. And it ended, obviously, with two Sister Abigails, one onto the ambulance and one onto the floor. And then Dean Ambrose was put into the ambulance and driven away. A very good ambulance match, in my opinion. It was what I expected. It was better than I suppose I expected. He had a little knee injury in the match. Did Dean Ambrose. Whether they're going to play that, we don't know. But I actually really enjoyed that match. By far the best match of the show. But there weren't much competition, to be honest, I suppose. The only other one, really, was the Bad News Barrett thing. The Usos, Naomi versus Miz, Damien, Miz down, Alicia Fox. What is this all about? I mean, this is the most boring rivalry I've ever seen. I like the Miz. Well, I don't particularly like Miz, but I like Damien Mizdow and that whole gimmick. It's run its term. It's not yet. It's got about a month left, in my opinion. They need to sort something out of the Rumble. They need to head this into WrestleMania. The Miz and Damien Mizdow. Most people in the world want it. What's this all thing going with the Usos, Naomi? It doesn't make sense. 1 minute Naomi saying, "Oh, well done, Miz. Thank you so much for everything." The next time they're fighting on opposite teams. Obviously, Miz and Naomi aren't, fighting, but you know what I mean. It just doesn't seem to make any sense to me. The whole Naomi and Alicia Fox thing was just rushed together, so the actual match had any point to it. It was a bit pathetic, really. And we've seen the Miz versus the Usos so many times now. It's just pathetic. I hope this isn't going to a Royal Rumble match for the title, but you can bet your life it probably is. It's just pathetic. They need to stop it. And then we had another actually one of the best matches tonight. I completely forgot about this. It was probably one of the best matches tonight. I still like the ambulance match more, but Ryback versus Seth Rollins and Kane. It was actually a handicap match when we originally thought it was going to be Seth Rollins versus Ryback. This match was actually, to be fair to it, I thought it was really, really good. It made Ryback look brilliant, which I think is brilliant. I think he's really coming on. I think he's got quite a lot of momentum going with him. It ended with Kane and Rollins winning, but as I say, it made Ryback look very, very good, which is something that WWE obviously need to do. I was a little bit confused with it, and the only reason I say I was a little bit confused with it is because there was no sort of... I was expecting a Rusev interference, because that rivalry looks like it's still going to be going on. But the whole Kane-Ryback rivalry, that may be it now. But yeah, there was interferences there. The match was by itself was actually quite a good match. It actually made sense, surprisingly enough, the whole match and the whole Kane feud and the Authority, etc. It made sense. It was a good match. Seth Rollins looked good. Kane looked like Kane. He is depleting, but he's still got potential, I suppose. He's still got a couple of good feuds left in him. And Ryback looked very, very good as well. So I think that was actually a really good match. Not the match of the night for me. The ambulance match just sneaks it. But a decent match nonetheless. We then have Big E versus Adam Rose. I can't get pumped for the whole New Day thing. For me, Kofi Kingston's a great wrestler. Xavier Woods is a good manager. He's very good on the mic, and he's a good wrestler, to be fair to him. And Kofi Kingston's a good wrestler. He just needs a little bit of not necessarily a re-gimmick, but just I don't know what they're going to do with Kofi, but he's got good potential. I like Kofi Kingston. But with them together in this New Day gimmick, it's just terrible. The fans aren't liking it. It doesn't have any legs on it. Expect to probably see all 3 of them in the Rumble. I expect this match that we've got here and the feud that actually comes out of it, I expect that to probably be a pre-show match like the other one for the New Day was. I'm not hyped for this. I don't think it will last. They have to be heel if they're going to actually work. So yeah, I'm not really into the whole New Day thing. The match, it wasn't great. Big E versus Adam Rose. Again, it ended in another disqualification when what we originally thought was 2 of the Rose, the fucking stupid people, Rosebuds, whatever they're called. What are they called? God, that is what they're called. Why am I being... My brain's gone, but I'm just sick and tired of this whole Adam Rose and that thing. It was so good on NXT, and they've just messed it up since coming to thingy with the whole bunny bloody thing. But anyway, the 2 of them we originally thought attacked Big E. Turned out it was actually oh my god. It was actually Tyson Kidd and Cesaro, which is brilliant because they're great with that tag team. That finishing maneuver they have is brilliant. It's dangerous, don't get me wrong, but it's a brilliant finisher. I love Cesaro. He's a great wrestler. Who cares if he hasn't got it on the mic? Nor's Roman Reigns is still going to push in to make him the Rumble champion WWE. You don't seem to have a problem with the fact that he can't fucking speak on the mic. You don't seem to have a problem with the fact that Stephanie, I can't even speak, so I'd never be any good there, but that actually Stephanie can't speak on the bloody mic, made some stupid thing about referring to in the promo that it was the office and not the flipping audience, which he quickly corrected, and I'm sure she ain't going to get hammered about that. Jesus Christ, anyway, ran over. But yeah, I don't know whether this is going to them 2 and Adam Rose versus the New Day, or whether it's going to be going to Cesaro and Tyson Kidd versus 2 members of the New Day. I don't really understand why the whole Adam Rose would be involved with it, but who bloody knows with WWE Creative. I'm happy that they're kind of going they're on TV. Cesaro's on TV. It's got potential to be a great match, and I'm actually looking forward to it. So long as Adam Rose has got good, he's good at wrestling and he's not bad in the ring, but it wouldn't really make sense if he was involved. But I don't know what your thoughts are on that. And then John Cena Appreciation Night. God, this review's gone on for a long time. The John Cena Appreciation Night. I don't think it was that long for a main segment. People are saying it was quite long. I don't really think it was. Cena came out. They said about blah blah blah, how the Triple H appreciate him, and just kind of continued from the actual opening segment. Then they kind of called out Rowan, Ryback, and Ziggler. Originally, they were talking about Stephanie and Triple H about suspending them for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, respectively, depending on the importance they had in the match. Then they kind of walked off, and then they had a little chat, and it ended up with them firing all 3 of them. Now, everybody who has a brain cell knows they're not fired, and they are going to be coming back in the next few weeks. This is what so many people love to see. This is where John Cena turns heel. This is where John Cena changes his gimmick. He can stay face, but just changes his gimmick, and, I don't know, they attack him, blah, 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 blah. But we all know that's not going to happen, and they'll all be friends in a few weeks. Everybody's thinking that. Everybody knows that. They'll either come back next week on Raw, or there might be one of them on SmackDown, etc., somehow returning, or it'll be in the Royal Rumble, and something like that will happen. If this is the main a huge angle that they were thinking about starting on Raw, I bloody well hope it ain't this, because this is so predictable what's going to happen. We all know they're going to come back in the end and everything's going to be exactly the same as it was before. It was kind of nice. It was a decent segment nonetheless. It had potential. I think it needed, just so he said you're fired, Sting to come out from behind and attack Triple H, because that's what's going to be the WrestleMania match. It's not going to be Sting Undertaker. It will be Triple H Sting, in my opinion. I'm pretty much 100% sure on that. That's what it needed, or Randy Orton return, or something like that. That's what this final segment, it needed something else. As I said, we all know they're not fired, so if you're anybody out there that is worried about, the fact that Ziggler and that are fired, they're not fired. They are fired storyline-wise, but it is a storyline. They will be back in the next couple of days or weeks. They'll be back before the Rumble, or on the Rumble, or in the Rumble. It's interesting to see how this plays out. It's another kind of cliffhanger that Raw have left on us. Does it excite me to watch next week's episode of Raw? Not really, because I know they're going to come back in the end, so that's why this storyline is kind of pathetic, because we've all seen it 100 times. But as a whole, Raw had a few good matches, a few good, potentially good possible new storylines. It didn't really develop many storylines that it already had. Well, I suppose it did, to be honest. The introduction of Rollins in the main event of Thingy, I think that's a good one. So as a whole, Raw was okay, but for the first episode of 2015, you expect something else. And to be fair, it was a below average Raw, being as polite as I can. Although I still think when we get into WrestleMania season, it's going to be brilliant, because you're going to have Bryan back, who hopefully is going to be wrestling regularly on Raw. I don't know whether that's going to happen just because of his injuries. You expect Randy Orton to come back into the fray soon. You got Sheamus, the possibility of Mark Henry coming back. All them sort of people are going to be coming back into the fray. You know, the roster looking relatively big. It looks positive, but this show wasn't why it should have been. Nothing really shocking happened. Nothing really surprising happened. And the problem with WWE as a product at the moment is it is so predictable. You can literally predict most things that happen. And that's not even by reading the gossip and the leak stuff. I can pretty much predict most things. And that's the problem with WWE at the moment. But it was a good show. Well, it's not. I keep changing what I'm saying. It was a below average show. But it had a couple of good matches on it, you know, and the ambulance match was relatively good. And I just pray to God that is that end of that rivalry, and them two can move on to something else. But that's it for the review. Apologies about the length of it. I hope you did enjoy it. Leave your thoughts on Raw down in the comments below. Where do you think all this is heading? How do you think Rowan, Ryback, and Ziggler are going to return to the fray? Or do you think that they're completely gone for good? Well, I think most people know that ain't true. So, as I say, Raw is below average. Give me your thoughts down in the comments below. Apologies about the length of the review. Subscribe if you're new around here. And other than that, enjoy us today. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Oh yeah, by the way, I'll probably be doing an NXT review, a SmackDown review, and possibly even a Lucha Underground review. Because I do actually watch Lucha Underground. I don't know if that's this week or next week, but I think it's Arctic Warfare. I can't wait. It's going to be fantastic. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you're new around here. And other than that, enjoy us today. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye. And remember, was this show best for business? I'm going to say no. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.